how to make soap at home. Just show real quick what I'm working with here. I have just a basic kitchen scale, weighs in grams or standard like pounds and ounces. I have a canister, have pre-weighed out my hydroxide right here. If you can see, 100% lye is what you want. If it's not 100% pure lye, it may have things in there that you don't want in your final soap. I have pre-weighed out my water. That stuff is caustic. This is the hazardous part of making soap, is mixing that into the water. Always mix that into the water, not the water into the base. I have here kitchen gloves, rubber goggles, put over because I wear glasses and I want to protect my eyes. I am going to be making it in an ice bath because adding the hydroxide, when you put that in water, it produces a lot of heat. Why I'm using this glass beaker and not the plastic, it will melt the plastic. I'm using 0.18 parts sodium hydroxide to 1 part of oil, organic virgin coconut oil. I like coconut oil because it makes a nice white bar and it lathers well, reasonably cheap. Just a battery powered drill. I have a little paint mixer. I'm gonna mix it into the soap in this here little 2-gallon bucket I picked up at Lowe's. There's no thermal problems when you're mixing the hydroxide into the oil after it's all dissolved in water. I found these silicone molds, ready-made soap bar size. I got this little silicone candy mold, but I like it because it makes dandy little hand soaps. Not necessary, but I have infrared thermometer when I'm mixing in my hydroxide so it doesn't get too hot on me. And that's pretty much it, what we need to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and suit up and get the camera situated, and I'll be right back with you. All right. These goggles on. All right, ready to get started. You can't really see, but I got my beaker of water down in the ice bath. I'm gonna go very carefully with this. As you can see, I changed to the little 2-gallon bucket just to make it easier to pour my hydroxide into the water. Pour it in little at a time, mix it. See, I'm doing it very gently. This goes, drill will mix a lot faster, and I'll do that when I get to the oil portion. But for this, because this is hazardous, more time you take to do this, the better, because you know you don't want to have an accident where somebody gets hurt. Trying to be patient and keep steady pressure on the trigger. This is it. Mix it a while. Add some more. You don't have to have the ice bath, but it does take significantly longer, because when you pour the hydroxide into the water, it will produce enough heat to flash boil this water. You don't want it to boil, and you don't want to splatter this stuff everywhere. I'm being a little impatient and running the drill a little too fast. There's a bit of hydroxide forming on the surface, sitting on the surface where it's not mixing in very well. Add a little bit more. I guess we'll go ahead and add the rest of it and hope for the best. Definitely don't want to do that without an ice bath. And it's also good to have a container that can handle the thermal shock. You know, you don't want to use the plastic because the plastic will melt. I have went ahead and transferred the oil into my mixing container. I got my hydroxide solution here. It's kind of warm, but just with respect to this, so you don't get it on you, you don't have to be as careful pouring it into the oil. Okay. Hydroxide in the oil. I just want to mix it thoroughly. I'm going to do this for a little while just to make sure, because you don't want any hydroxide water that does not mix into the oil well. But I'm going to do that for a while and I'll be back. You can't really over mix it. If it starts to thicken up on you, then you want to cease the mixing and get it into your molds. Fancy little 1 liter funnel jar that I'm going to pour this into there, and then use this to pour it into the molds. Alright, get this filled up and just gently pour it in. Sorry about the camera work. Hopefully it's okay. So I'm going to fill it right to the top. And rinse and repeat till you fill up all your molds, and overflow mold just in case I run out of space in these. I'm going to finish this up and I'll be right back. I use silicone molds for 2 reasons primarily. One, it makes it easier to get the soap out after it hardens. It doesn't set overnight. And 2, the first time I did it, I used metal molds, and that was a disaster. So don't use metal, wood, or clay if you don't have silicone, or plastic possibly. But I like the silicone because it's flexible and makes it real easy to demold the soap. Alright, got everything molded up. Enough molds for 20 bars of soap, 12 little Texas hand soaps. I had a little bit extra left over. I will cover my molds once I got the soap in there to keep them warm as long as I can. I'm going to try today just leaving them outside. It's fairly warm out today. I have thought about maybe preheating the oven to like 250. Then just as I stick my soap in, go ahead and turn it off and close the door. Or you can, if you have like a portable cooler, you can put your soap in that and shut the lid, and that'll help to hold the heat in. The longer it takes it to cool down, the more efficiently the sodium hydroxide and water will react with the oil, and you make a better soap, and you'll have a lower chance of having raw spots that could irritate the skin when you bathe with it. I take it out of the mold about 24 hours approximately after I make it. Having the air circulate all the way around it will help it to set faster. Otherwise it can take quite a while, several weeks even, from making it to being ready to use it. Of course, shorter you can make the turnaround, the better. I use just over 1 part water per 1 part of hydroxide. I keep it as close to a 50-50, but I use a little bit more water just to help it mix it up easier. Less water helps it to set up faster, decreases the turnaround time from production to usable soap. But yeah, this what we call a basic 3-ingredient soap. Is just the oil, the water used to dissolve the sodium hydroxide because it won't dissolve into the oil, and then the sodium hydroxide itself, which is the main reactor that causes the oil to saponify and actually turn into soap. Hopefully this video will be useful. If you do have any questions, post them down in the comments and I will answer them as quickly as I can. And if it turns out I need to make another video to address anything, I will try to do that. Here you go, right here. 20 of these bars is a nice functional size for soap. Nice clean white bar. Here's all my little Texas hand soaps. You see 12 of them with little hearts and little stars. This is the bar I had left over to be used as it is. I will probably shred it up into a fine powder and mix it into the next batch. Thank you. Happy soap making, and goodbye.